Hey, are you serious? You have got to take a look at this book. If you really want to make any money, you've got to stop what you're doing now and you need to read this book. Okay, maybe you can go ahead and finish eating that sandwich or whatever you're doing. Hey, this is Scott Keeler again with Solution Wolf, and here we're today to talk about the book Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. And this book is one of the most fantastic books there is out there. In my book reviews, I have recommended to first probably read The Magic of Thinking Big and then Think and Grow Rich. Great books, and I still recommend that. But right behind that, one of the first books you're going to need to consider reading is The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. If you are somebody that's in management or is an entrepreneur or somebody who wants to take control of your life, it's a must read to understand truly what goes on with the organizational thinking behind everything that happens in what you do. Stephen Covey, Covey Franklin, he's been a motivational speaker and an author and writer for many years. Came out with this book in 1989. It was immediately a bestseller. It's one of the most referenced books in the genre of self-help and self-motivation. It's just an all-around great book. And if you were to rate this book and you're rating on a star system and 5 being the best, it would be a 5. I couldn't tell you enough about the Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. So with that, I'm going to just go over just a couple of things that are in this book. I'm not going to go really into too much about it, but basically what he does is he kind of breaks down everything into kind of 3 sections. You're going to see the first is going to be the public victory, or I'm sorry, the private victory. Public victory is second. The private victory is that personal stuff that you take in, and there's been other people that say, you start with the personal self, your personal development and that kind of thing. The next is your public victory. That is going to be maybe your business career, maybe your outside, what people see. It's very important. That is also an important thing. Some people will say, it doesn't matter what people think, but it does. It matters what people think in the genre that you are going to need to be able to share and develop ideas and have an income based on sometimes what other people think. So it's important to develop that skill and that repertoire. Now again, you keep your own private personal values, but what you do in the outside is very, very important. And then it's to increase all of that. It's to sharpen your axe, it's to increase it. So he pretty much had 7 different aspects of going through. You start to become proactive. You just start doing stuff. You get active. What most people do is, and I've heard it in several occasions, they just don't take any action. They just, around paralysis of analysis. They just stop what they're doing and they don't do anything else. And then what you want to do is you want to begin with the end in mind. You want to see what you think the end is going to be. In other cases, like Napoleon Hill said, this is autosuggestion. You're looking at what you want the end result to be and let your subconscious mind help you work through some of this. Because sometimes the biggest obstacle you will have to anything that you do is your own belief system. And again, I'm just going to repeat this. I probably repeat this in every book review I do. But the reason that these authors write these books and the reason that I want to write a book like this someday is because it's all about changing the belief system. And I truly believe that it's what people believe in the back of their mind and that subconscious part that can only be changed through a lot of repetition that will increase what you really believe is to be true, because that's the part that will enable you to succeed or will hold you back depending on what your real belief system is. The next part is make first things first. And there's been books just written on that one subject, because we have a tendency to wander all over the place. And Stephen Covey has a great way to break this all down so that it's kind of easy to see where this fits in. And in the public victory, your professional victory, it's to think win-win. Not only just think for yourself, but think of the other person. Actually, think of that other person first. Think about what's in it to win for him or her before you think about yourself. Uh, Too many times people think, well, what can I get out of this? What will it be? What's in it for me? That's the wrong way to go about it. And that's why millionaire mindsets are so different, is because they think win-win, but they think you win first and then I will win. And that is a big difference in how the masses think. And then the next is seek first to understand, and then you can be understood. Again, most people have the role reversal all different in this. They want to be understood before they even try to understand anybody else. And again, it's going after the other person first and seek to understand them. Once you understand them, then you let them try and understand you. But again, it's part of that win-win system. And then next is what he calls synergize. And sometimes think this word has been overplayed, overused, but maybe it still has a lot of value in it. And it's when people come together. I think Napoleon Hill has it better with the mastermind group in this one case. There's a difference between being synergized and having a mastermind group. And the definitions, I'll let Stephen Covey, relate that, because there's a whole big chapter in that. And I don't have time here really to go into all of that. But in my opinion, I think the mastermind group is a much more effective way. But again, I'm not the expert. Synergizing works fantastic for some people. So the last thing that he has after all this is done is to sharpen your axe. There's a great story about a woodsman who went out in the woods, or a group of loggers, and a new guy came along, and most of the guys could chop down like 5 trees a day. That was great. And this guy comes out, and the record set was 9 trees. And this guy comes out, just barreling all crazy, and he chops down 7 trees. And this is like, wow, this is like, more than most of them ever even thought of. And they're saying, woohoo, this guy is on fire. He's a tree chopping machine. And the next day he goes out, and they're all thinking, oh my gosh, this guy he's gonna break that record today, because now he's energized, he's ready to go. He chops down 6. And it's like, oh, okay, well, what happened? Okay, well, the third day they say, well, he's got to get it now. Maybe, he just had to kind of catch his breath, and he's gonna go out and he's gonna do it. The guy gets up way earlier than anybody else. He chops way later till anybody else, and he chops down 4.5 trees. And as he's sitting there walking with his head hanging down, one of the old loggers came back that's been around for quite a while, and he goes, hey, young buck, he goes, did you ever think at one time to just sit there and sharpen your axe? Think about that. Anyway, sharpen your axe. We need to sharpen that axe, and we need to make sure that when we're out there in the battle, that we're continuing with, not struggling when we don't have to. So again, what he does, the best thing about this book is when he breaks everything into 4 quadrants. And when he breaks it into 4 quadrants, he breaks it, basically says, so you put a box, you have 4 squares. The number 1 square is where most of of the entrepreneurs and the management people are. They're with the urgent things and the important things. That is getting things done, getting your business done, your phone calls made, your sales calls made, whatever you are trying to get done. Those are the things that run your business, that make your money. You've got to get those things done. That's the number one thing. And then we're going to skip number 2 for a second. We'll go right to number 3. Now that is also urgent, but it's not important. And that's like, solicitors. That's like, taking a look at Facebook. That's like taking a look at a lot of different things. And not anything against Facebook, but I'm talking about like any kind of social media. Just things that are, yeah, they kind of call to you, your text comes, beeps or whatever, or the phone rings and you're gonna talk to it, or whatever. It's just this urgent stuff that comes up day after day after day, but it's really, in the scheme of things, it's not very important. And then number 4 is the non-urgent, and it's not important. It's like watching TV at night. It's not urgent and it's not very important. Reading the newspaper, not urgent, not important. In fact, my own opinion is, well, I'll leave it at that. It's just not important. Okay. Where we fail, where most people will fail in every aspect of their life, is in quadrant 2. And quadrant 2 says it's the non-urgent, very important things. It's training. It is development. It is reading a book. It is that thing that helps you sharpen that axe. It's the thing that is going to propel you to the next level. See, what happens is we get all caught up in number 1, we get tired, then we go to number 4, and we just take a break and we kind of chill from everything. We forget that everything that we do in number 1 gets so much easier if we would just take some time and spend it in quadrant 2, the non-urgent, very important things. And it's just important, but I say it's very important. In the businesses I've seen, training gets totally left behind because it's, you can train somebody some other day, that call in sick and, down things, and customers got to be served, and just different things happen. And the day-to-day basis, the chaotic, this happens day after day after day after day. That's the nature of business. That's the nature of things. And what happens is we get tired, we get fatigued, but we don't ever stop to sharpen our axe. We don't stop to get that training in. We don't stop to redevelop our minds with some adequate reading. Because see, when you watch something like on this video, it develops one part of the brain, but when you read, there's another computer part of your brain that takes the abstract information and it feeds it into the action that you do. And without getting into all that different kind of stuff, Stephen Covey does a great job of explaining all this. So with that being said, please watch, take a look at his book. And when you get a chance, if you like this video, subscribe in that button down below. Please subscribe. And then also, for those people that are interested in some of the same things that I have been talking about, have been also talked about by a good friend of mine named Jeff Lerner. He has put out, he has a company called Entra. It's part of the new digital age of marketing. And there's a free book available for anybody who is really interested in making money with the new digital age marketing. So with that, again, Scott Keeler from Solution Wolf. Hope to see you next time. Bye.